Pat Hurley. I'm the State House Representative for District 70, Randolph County, and I was invited over today to see what's going on over here, and I'm glad to be here.
Why do you think the program is so important? Why do you think Mr. Leonard's work is of such value?
I think our children need to learn skills like this because it helps in their everyday life as they grow older and have to do things and repairs and things. I think you do need to learn from the ground up.
And would you like to introduce yourself, Mr. Mayor?
I'm Raleigh York Jr., Mayor of the City of Thomasville. Thomasville has been known as the chair city, and that's because that early on, Thomasville Furniture Industries was Thomasville Chair Company. And chair building was one of the mainstays here in Thomasville. And now Mr. Leonard has come in and he's trying to rekindle the fire under that type of construction of the chairs. And we invite you and anybody that you know of that would like to come out next Saturday morning around 8:30, 9 o'clock and join in. It would be good to have you here. We especially want young people to see the value of working with their hands and understand what this can do for them as they go through their life. So we invite you to come out and be a part of this.
Mr. York, what do you think the lessons of the recent hurricanes have taught us?
Well, if you look at Puerto Rico, they're devastated down there. Everything needs to be repaired. And from what I understand, they don't have a lot of skilled workmen down there or work persons to do this work. So if these people were taught that as they were coming up, then they would have those skills to do that. We're fairly skilled here in the United States still at this time, but our young folks are not coming up like we did in our generation, where we're able to work with our hands and do the things that we need to get through our daily life. And obviously there's going to have to be some of these skilled workers that are sent to Puerto Rico and help those folks down there and teach them, because this is going to be a very long-term process down there to bring this country back. And so that's very important to them at this time.
What do you think we've learned from their not having electricity? What happens to society?
Well, we run off electricity. I know several years back we had a massive ice storm that came through this area, and the power here in Thomasville was off at my house for over a week. And what I did, I went back to my childhood. My wife, she wanted me to sit in by the fireplace at night. I did it one night and I was very uncomfortable. And I told her, I said, I grew up in a cold bedroom for the first 8 years of my life, and I don't ever remember sleeping anywhere else in the house. I said, I'm going to bed. So I got me an extra quilt and went to bed. So I called up some of my, younger lifestyle and training to deal with things, and I had a fireplace. I was burning wood and heating that part of the house. So these things, we need to be teaching just basic life skills and survival during this time, because you never know when something devastating like this might happen, and then you've got to be proactive and look after yourself, because the government can't do it for you.
I feel that it's very important that students know how to do this with their hands, just as I felt and did the bill that said that they had to learn basic skills again to learn how to do cursive writing and to memorize the multiplication tables. The technology is here and the kids are doing that, and they're not learning how to talk to each other because they're so busy with that. They can't spell, having trouble reading, and I feel that they do need the basic skills in this and in the other things to know and to be able to survive in society and be an all-rounded person and to help each other and to be with their peers and learn how to talk to each other and to just succeed in life. Well, just this year we appropriated funds for this community college to send people into the high schools, those that will partner with them, to be able to encourage children to go to community college. That would help them, and the skills that are in community college, they can go for 2 years and go on to higher education if they want to from there. But we've also provided many of the businesses in the area and across the state are partnering with them for the apprentice program that we have furnished funds for this year too, which is teaching them a trade and earning money as they do that. So I just feel like it's very important that they learn a trade if that's what they want to do. Not every child does want to go to college. They have skills that they want to use in other places, and it's important that we give them the opportunity to learn what they want to be happy in and to succeed.
I was asking you a moment ago about wage scales and why young people should think it's to their benefit to learn a trade versus some of the service sector jobs.
Service sector is fine. I'm not saying you shouldn't go down the service sector, but a lot of people love to work in an office environment at a minimum wage and not go into a field because they think that's the means.
So, Mr. Leonard, as we hear this train go by, what kind of thoughts are coming
Well,
across your
the
mind?
train conductor probably is making $30, $35 an hour. He's a union operator, and he's making a good living wage. We've got to change the stereotypes and stigmas that we have in status symbols. A lot of people will go to an office and because they dress up and they wear a white collar, and they would love to tell everybody they work at this company in a call center, and they're making maybe $12 an hour when they can be making a lot more by actually working in construction, working in carpentry, working in various other functions. Again, we under-glorify, so there's a huge shortage. The organization's got to pay a lot more. So we have a glut in various functions that we need to. We've got a glut of lawyers. We've had it when they opened up the UNC Chapel Hill Law School. And I'm standing here beside a lawmaker, but they were saying that the laws are so complicated that we need more attorneys to make them simple. I don't think that's going to happen. We need a lot more technicians because of computer technology. We no longer have minutia that gets in the way. We got technicians that gets in the way.
I like that. You said the word technutia?
Technutia, little bitty details that keep us from doing things. You can't even log into your password. You can't get into your computer and it blocks you from doing productive activities because you forgot it. You got to start all over. There's so much technutia that gets into our way, and that's why I'm begging, I'm pleading, I'm trying to get everybody we can to work together and develop some of these talents and pursue the job class, and again, start building chairs and other functions that we need. We depend, Irma and Harvey and a lot of things exposed a lot of the weaknesses that we have even further than what we have.
They didn't want to.
If you want to, yeah, I love you was wonderful. She had a commitment today, and so she couldn't come in. All right. Why don't you get in here and Andrew, yeah, Andre, he's the one that, I gotta show you his handiwork. This guy is, he does 3D printing. He made a 3D printed violin.
Oh my
The
goodness.
past couple of days I've been working on a robot for a competition. Finally got working last night at 11:45 p.m. I could finally go to sleep. Yeah. So, I need to have that done in Virginia on the 22nd.
This gentleman here is graduating from high school, and he is an amazing resource. He's helped me with so many projects. My mom, Lauren, is her mom. Never heard her voice.
Is for the community, and she also stayed university,
Yeah.
even though she's the majority of
Of course I do.
I keep going from being like a culinary master to like being probably something having to use all your manpower. Yeah, all we're gonna do is show how to do it, and then we're gonna go back out. So it doesn't really matter how it goes right now. This is just for practice, so y'all can get the feeling of how to do it.
Have their value. But what we don't glorify enough is the skilled trades. We need plumbers, electricians, pipe fitters. The society that scorns excellence in plumbing because plumbing is a humble activity and tolerates shoddiness in philosophy because philosophy is an exalted activity will have neither good plumbing nor good philosophy. Neither is pipes nor its theories will hold water. Now bankers and lawyers and all the other professions, we've got to have a good building. We've got to have a good plumbing system. We have a good chairs that are stable and strong and work, or again, everything falls apart and we all literally collapse. So we're trying to get people to understand the importance of learning these tasks, and so we're trying to glorify what we get. And if we don't build the next generation of skilled technicians, what's going to happen? We've already seen with Hurricane Harvey and Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Maria, we've got 15 Puerto Ricans who evacuees are supposed to be with us now, and we're hoping they'll get here. But we're wondering, how are we going to do this? We've got to pass on some skill sets, and if we aren't stepping up beyond what the educational system offers and offer opportunities for the older generations to interact with the younger generations. They can teach us so much. They can teach us how to use our new cell phones and our new 3D printers and all this technology, and we can teach them a lot of the workshop skills that we've learned during our careers. So it's important that we have these interactions, and that's why this public event outside here at the giant chair, that's our monument where we are celebrating making, not celebrating some conquered war hero. This is a factory that was built, and this community was built on producing chairs. And so we're trying to get people to develop and invest in the process of developing technologies and understanding all the opportunities that are available. The IT field's important. A lot of the other fields are important. I'm not saying they're not, but we've got to also take on the skilled trades, because we've got a lot of people. And gentlemen, you're holding camera. I know you run the boiler plant. I'd love for you to talk about what's going on in your operation. What drives you
Leonard,
crazy?
I'm Mike Goodman. I'm now working at UNCG as a steam plant operator, but for 16 years prior to that, I was a school teacher. I was a shop teacher. And what I'm noticing from the chair that we have here, Mr. Leonard, what you're noticing is that we have a train going by and technology moves forward. We're not using steam engines anymore. These are complex diesel electric engines. I happen to work at a steam plant where we produce the heat and conditioning steam for the campus. Just like this engine has evolved, the chair making that is the hallmark of Thomasville has evolved. These chairs are no longer manufactured by hand. They're no longer manufactured using basic electrical motors. They're made on CNC machines. They're drawn using various CAD programs. We have one young man here who's using 3D printing. What I have found is that when I first started teaching in '98, everybody was pushing technology as if computers were the only technology. And I'm suggesting to you that a chisel and a hammer can be technology in the hand of a craftsman. So what I would hope is that young people would find the adults in their lives, find out who they have that's enjoying the work, even if it doesn't seem to be very glamorous. If you have an electrician who's putting in the wiring in a house, that person can look at that wiring at the end of the day and say, look what I have accomplished. If you have a framing contractor, at the end of the day, there's a 2-story building where before there was a concrete slab. I think people have been sold with some good intent that all good professions have to do with staying clean, and sometimes that can be a little frustrating because it means sitting at a desk, it means not being very active, whereas there are some young people that like to get out and do things, and it doesn't have to be necessarily a guy doing guy's work. We have a young lady over there, Kenya, who's helping because she's the senior in a class at Thomasville High School, and she's instructing Augustine and the other young man there how to build a chair. I think if you build a skill set that's based on your physical capabilities, then those skills tend to translate very easily into some other skill set. So if somebody's a good electrician, in all likelihood they'll be a very good air conditioning and refrigeration mechanic. I think this is a great program that you have. I think Thomasville could use the boost in exposure because I think there are a lot of people who are not college bound in the traditional sense. And what happens is you have a lot of people who go off maybe to a 4-year college that get frustrated and then they drop out and then they don't know what to do. I think with the right guidance in the school systems, you can get people motivated where their skill set lies. If they happen to be good with their hands and if they happen to be good in planning out processes, then they can be the people who are the leaders of the next manufacturing generation. So I wish to thank you, and I hope to be involved in this for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Why don't you tell us what you're doing?
Alright, so we got done doing back of the chair, and now we got to put the front of it to connect the legs. And after we do this, we have to put the part that goes to the seat. Then
They're not
finish
here
process.
today. Where they come on the 28th, I don't know.
I was just watching those kids. I'm gonna get my son to do something.
I've got one of those sons too. He's a woodworker.
Bring back that woodworking, you know, the furniture like this.
I did talk to Ed Brinkley. He couldn't make it. He was very supportive. Yeah. Workers. He's got a 7-year-old electrician.
Well,
18. Well, that's how it's supposed to be.
Are you going to affix the slats for the bottom?
Yeah, gotta flip it up.
Kenya, what's making this drilling so easy?
Yeah, we pre-drill them. That way it makes it easier to come to the build a chair event and already have it fixed. So it'd be easier to teach someone from pre-drill holes than to drill them themselves.
Yeah.
Who are you hoping shows up for this?
I'm hoping that the hurricane evacuees show up to this so we can teach them how to do this and give them a new opportunity to be able to build this kind of handcrafted chair. And we also would like kids to show up just so we can teach them this new experience right here, teach them how to do like sanding and teach them how to put chairs together, teach them how to like measure and everything to have the right stuff for each piece.
What do you call those pieces?
I don't know. These are the supports, right? Yeah, these are the supports. You put these underneath. That way the chair.
This helps the top stay together, so we call them the support.
This thing's in.
So Kenya, again, what are they doing right there?
They're putting on the supports for the bottom. This is what holds up the top pieces right here for the chair. It actually helps it, like they're the supports to the base of the chair where you sit.
Well, they're starting from scratch again. And yeah, a lot of the people that build it aren't there.
That's
the process, the whole.
That also slipped.
So, how do you feel today went?
It went pretty well as far as I'm concerned. We did get a chair built. I'm sitting on it, so not as many people turned out as we expected, but give it hit or miss. I mean, you know, things will flop, things will go well.
Well, what are your hopes?
My hope is that we'll get, you know, more people to come out to these events and that we can just spread knowledge that these trades are needed, whether it's, you know, carpentry, furniture making, pipe fitting, welding, machining, or anything else. All of these trades are needed, and we are lacking in proper just advocation in schools that trades are valued and they pay well.
Well, so what are your plans, each of you? What are your individual plans?
I personally hope that I'll eventually start my own business. I also hope that, you know, I can just learn as many trade skills as I can. I mean, I've already dabbled in machine milling. I can do 3D printing, laser engraving. My personal goal is to learn how to make things with as many different processes as possible.
Okay, and how about you,
Well,
Augustine?
I'm hoping to go into mechanical engineering, but right now I learn like carpentry skills and like basic stuff like that, and also want to learn welding and stuff like that. But soon, you know, hoping to go into mechanical engineering, probably start my own business in there too. Yes.
Well, I wish you gentlemen all the best and have a good day.
Chairs that farmhouse table design or chair design, and they're made out of Bolivian poplar. They were planed, they were finished, and they were fit together here. And we created a system to where we could be able to put the nails from the bottom. We have the pocket holes there. And this can be further developed. It could add routing designs. You can make it more ornate. You could do various other programs. You can paint it. You can do all kinds of decorative things to it. If you wanted to, you could add sensors to it. You could add various electronics to it. You could add lighting to it. It's really up to the imagination is what somebody wants to do with this. So anyway, what we're trying to do here is trying to stimulate some of these programs. We're frustrated we didn't have more people show up today, but we're going to keep doing this. And we're going to continue to give Thomasville an opportunity to make things. And we're building a makerspace here, and we're going to continue to develop resources that so this area can thrive and be. It'll never be what it was, but it'll be better than what it is. So,
Well, I wish you all the best. Thank you very much, Mr. Leonard.
thank you.
So that's going to be our bottom, right?
Although the skills themselves are familiar to generations of Americans,
Measure 2 inches with that speed square, right?
the world into which these students at Thomasville High School are taking those skills is vastly different.
Everything looks good. Draw your line. Even, 10, 15 years ago, students from this high school could walk out of here and get a job at, Thomasville Furniture or, one of the many other manufacturers around here, but those jobs are no longer here.
Yet the need for the skills is certainly there. According to Skills USA, the country will need 10 million new workers with these skills
And probably use our speed square, right? There you go.
by the time Najee and Axel graduate from Thomasville. In the meantime, they're working to be among them in Andrew Clement's class.
Got to get that on the other side too, right? We've been making some benches out of some poplar that was donated to us.
I've been told about this class since I was in middle school, and I really wanted to take it because I like to be hands-on.
They built a lot of the traditional stuff, the birdhouses,
So we took some reclaimed windows.
an off-the-ground garden. In a school like this, the people like Clement have a role beyond just that of teacher.
A lot of our male staff here do play that dad, uncle role and step in and try to teach our young men, hey, this is what a man does. Good and squared up.
And when you talk to the young men like Najee Little, they appear to be listening.
I feel like a man. I'm out there, I'm working, using tools I never used before, just having fun.
And here's the little library that we built.
They try to build things that have use beyond their shop. They've made little free libraries to put up here and at other schools. And then there's the big one.
Here's the picnic tables our kids made, and they made these all by themselves.
When I see people using it, I'll stop and say, I made that. Then they be like, for real? And I'll be like, yeah. And then it made me feel good. And they be like, I like it. And it makes me feel like I accomplished, I did something great.
But even projects as big as these aren't always enough to get kids thinking about a career in the trades.
It's a tough sell when they don't see it day in and day out.
And that's where this comes in.
This is the best opportunity that my students have to come to be exposed to the real world.
That same group that says that we need 10 million new skilled tradespeople over the next few years, Skills USA, puts on quite a competition in states all over the country.
It's unbelievable. There's 2,500 students competing in over 100 different competitions from all over the state.
Young men and even some young women showing a high level of skill building things off a professional plan, framing a house, the masonry work it takes to finish it, wiring it for power, and dozens of other things.
There are some that are very good. Some still have a lot to learn, but there are some that truly do demonstrate skills. We cannot get enough workers, especially in construction.
The Thomasville kids didn't place among the top competitors, but as sophomores, they have 2 more years to try.
It actually opens my eyes up more to everything out here and what there is for me, what there's in store for me to do.
Everything went well. I had fun.
Excited about seeing a career that awaits them and one that pays pretty darn well.
There's plumbers, electricians, and carpenters, some of them making $50 and $60 an hour.
And these young men now see themselves among them in the future. Bob Buckley, Fox 8 News.